Hello again, and welcome to Winning with the Wrangler and Dick Powell's Leadership Corner, brought to you by Earth, Wind, Fire, Water Training and Development, where our passion building leaders of today and tomorrow. Leaders, we're going to start off today with a question or an answer. Be truth-filled, be authentic. You know, those are two things that I often look for in people as well as myself. Am I truth filled? Am I authentic about it? Am I really who I say I am? I think those are huge questions for leaders. when when you tell people your dreams, when you have told people your dreams, have you ever heard, "You can't do that. Who do you think you are? You don't have the education. I didn't know you were even interested in that. Own your own business? Are you kidding? You better get a real job." You know, those things were told to me over and over as I was growing up, and I bought into them when I was a little bit younger, until one day that I had this awakening. And the awakening is what I've tried to share with people from then on. That awakening was this, is that I can do anything I put my mind and body to. That doesn't mean that it's going to be easy, it's going to be fun. It just might be hard and hurt, but I can do it. I am what I have been made. You see, all those sometimes not so good things that happen to me, well, I'm kind of a conglomerate of all those things that have gone through. And you are too. But here's the big one. I will find a way to get what is needed to get to where I wanted to go. You see, that's where I started really starting to put it to the test of learning what a vision was and what I needed to do to get there and what it was going to cost me. Not so much in money, but in time and patience and hard work. You see, that piece of believing in myself enough that the dream could happen, the vision could happen, that the hope and the dream would be alive, and it did. The people around me, though, I have to tell you, I would continue to hear them. Well, you better get a real job, get one of those 9 to 5ers, Monday through Friday. It's going to take it, and that's not what I desired. I found out, quite frankly, that you were never going to be where I wanted to be, working 9 to 5, 5 days a week. I learned that part was going to pay the bills and take care of the family, but what I did all those other hours that was going to build who and what I wanted to become. And that is what I was willing to do. And fortunately, I have a great wife that understood that and encouraged that. She understood that the time away at what we called our job was just that. It took care of the family. It made sure that I could work those hours and make that money and work overtime so we'd go on vacation and have those things we need to do. But it was the things I was doing off my company time, preparing myself for what was going to come next, preparing myself for down the road. And so I could realize that vision. You see, that day I woke up and I started learning that if you really wanted it, you could have it. You were going to have to work for it. You're going to have to continually plan and struggle and make it happen. And that's what I've been trying to do since, speaking about personal accountability and personal leadership. You see, those two things, this thing of accountability, only you can do. No one else can make you accountable for something. You have to be accountable to yourself first. Do what you say you're going to do, how you're going to do it, and when you're going to do it. You see, that is accountability. And when you mess up or you make a mistake, you take and you own it. I messed up. I made a mistake. How do I fix it? How do we correct it? And what did I learn from it? You see, to me, mistakes and failures became a positive learning tool instead of a negative holding me back. They pushed me forward. You see, for years I was held back by my own negative thoughts. I had become what I was expected. I dressed in my dress, word, and deed. I had done those things because that was what I felt was expected of me. And unfortunately, I had this awakening, and fortunately, I've been able to share it with folks and all of you out there. You see, it did not come from my circle. I had to leave my old circle of influence behind and search for a new one. A lot of times when you're in this process, those closest to you might not understand what you're going through or even like it. And they might be pretty negative about some things. I can still hear my mother tell me about how I wasn't the sharpest knife in the drawer, that I need to get a job working with my hands. I still remember that one pretty good. But as I made that conscious decision to find a circle of influence that was positive and supportive, I realized the change in myself, and believe it or not, the people around me realized the change that they were seeing. And quite frankly, some of them changed also. You see, you need to be very careful of the negative people who wish to hold you where you are. They like you where you are. They understand. They're comfortable having you with them in that certain condition and place and time. To break out will be uncomfortable and will have painful consequences. You see, leaving people behind hurts both sides. Now, I still go back and see those folks from time to time, but I don't spend a lot of time there. So the question I ask you, and you need to ask yourself, is your circle negative or positive? Do they build you up and support you, or are they always finding a way to tear you down? You see, words are so powerful that when people say them to us, sometimes they don't understand that later on when you're by yourself, those words come back to haunt you. And they let it work on your mind. And when we put negative things in our mind, negative things come out in actions. It's so true. Positive in, positive out. You see, your circle of friends and family may be one of your biggest challenges in your time of need. Moving on and leaving the negativity behind is hard and will be hard. The exciting part, though, is that we have a choice. First, realizing that we all have a choice is going to be a huge hurdle for you. And I know that. But choosing a circle, a family of positive people to surround yourself will help you fulfill the future of your dream. If they're there, they're supporting, they're positive, they're going to keep that positive thing going, and your momentum will start and continue. That doesn't mean it's going to happen overnight. I worked with a company for 30 years, and during that 30 years, I had 7 different jobs within the company. And every time I took a new position, I was always looking down the road when I'd finished my 30 years, and I would go out on my own and do what I felt I was called to do. So it meant honing and preparing myself for that next place. And that's what I'm talking about. Does this happen overnight? No. The first thing that I had to do was leave that dead end street. you know. And my grandfather was one of the ones who encouraged me to do that. He'd tell me over and over, just because you were born and raised on a dead end street didn't mean you had to have a dead end life. And when he passed away and I was all of 13 years old, I realized I was on my own and I was going to have to make it. And I did, by making the choice. My other friends chose to stay there, and they're all very happy doing what they're doing, I think. And when I go back and visit, it's always an interesting time. But when I talk to them off to the side and just one-on-one, they felt they had no choice but to stay there and do what was expected of them. So I'm not really sure that they're all that happy. But you see, we must choose to be with those that show us this whole thing called unconditional love, total support and belonging. If you're not getting that from where you're at, if you're not feeling that, if it's not ingrained, I'm going to encourage you. Take little steps. Find that one person. Find that one book. Go to that one lecture. Do something to start making a change. Now, if you wish to stay there, that's up to you, but that's your choice. Understand that that's your choice. You see, I truly believe that people will come along in your path and you'll have a choice. Do I follow? Do I go with? Do I stay where I'm at? I truly believe that we're all given gifts and talents in earthly, and our job is to find out, research and look for and then realize and accept the gifts that we're given. Sometimes you can't monetize those gifts that you were given right off the bat. Sometimes it takes 30 years of practice and preparation before you get that opportunity. But if you're always working for it, if you're always moving forward, if you're always seeing that vision that you're going to accomplish, and realize that, my friends, is what it's all about. This whole thing of awakening to choice, to being authentic, to being who you really are, to looking how do we help other people help themselves, to looking at how do we share the knowledge that we have with someone next to us. You see, unfortunately, I believe a lot of times people say that I had no choice. I was expected to live and die here on this street, and they did. Those who made the choice to jump out and move out found themselves in a world that was totally alien to them. They found themselves in a place where they just struggled to survive because they were like a fish out of water. But they continued on with perseverance and just rugged hang-on-to-itness of people who are willing to learn, people who are willing to share, seeking out positive circles of influence to help them help themselves so they can help others help themselves. You see, being truth-filled means being truthful to yourself, means knowing who you are and what you're about. It also means searching and seeking your gifts and talents and then putting them to use as you're called to do. Can you always make a living with your calling? Sometimes, sometimes not. Sometimes it's just part of who you are and what you do. Sometimes your career or your job is just that. It doesn't mean that has to put a mark on the top of your head and say, well, that's all you're ever going to be, or that's all you're ever going to do. I surely wouldn't want to take and have something stamped on the top of my head that was my first job of digging latrines, or digging ditches or climbing poles or working on cars and changing oil. I hope that wasn't all stamped up there someplace. There's just so much more to life. So seek it out. Seek your gifts and talents out. And then when you try to take a look at them in any other way, let us know here. We'll be glad to help you work on them. We'll be glad to help you go through that piece and see just what you can do with who you are by being truth-filled and authentic. I'm going to take us in a little different direction now because I believe that this is going to be fun for you. I always try to build some kind of fun in our leadership piece. This one's called being on time. Be on time, Dadbird. Have you ever heard someone tell you to be on time? My grandfather raised me, and he always told if you're on time, meant you were late. You had to be there 15 minutes early. It drives my wife crazy. We've been married 45 years. It still drives her crazy. It's all good. But here it is. Be on time. Here I sit waiting again on an appointment by the other person, made by the other person, and they're not here. Oh, I got a text. Going to do a small job on the way and be there a little later than expected. Now, this is the person called me, made the time and date, and now they're sending me a text saying they're going to be a little late. I ask you, what should my response be? They are not coming on your time. And quite frankly, they're late for the appointment that they set up. So is your time all that important? Or is it not important to them? Of course, I always ask, what kind of customer service is that? You see, your time is important, as is theirs. So I know that personally, I'm of an age that when someone made an appointment with you, they would usually be there 5 or 10 minutes early. Now it seems that everything moves on beach time nowadays, and I'll be there soon or mañana. And I don't know what soon means. Do you know what I'll be there soon means? Now, is that 1 minute, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, half an hour? What does soon mean? Well, here's what it means. It means whenever they get there, to them, that was soon. To you, it might be the longest 5 minutes you've ever spent. Because you've gotten there, you've gotten up, gotten dressed, you've made the location, you're there early, you're there waiting, you're all prepared. And now you're waiting. Frustrating, isn't it? So let's look at this opportunity. Okay, here's the opportunity that we did. The company person scheduling the job at our home. I will be there with the crew at 8:30. Text 8:05. Doing a small job, we'll be there later. Not when, later. Then give me time. 9:30. And no one's there yet. Do I start my day? Do I put my life on hold? What is it? I feel like I'm being held hostage to someone else's schedule. And I'm the customer. Well, this is not just a problem with client service. It's at our church, it's our school, it's at meetings, it's at dinner, and the list goes on and on. And what has happened to punctuality, I ask? The same answer comes back to me. Hey, Dick, just chill out. Chill out. It'll all happen. Oh, it will happen. It's just, I won't do business with you anymore. But I'm sorry. I'm just not going to do it. So let me give you some easy guidelines, and this makes it easy. I mean, this is just like common sense, right? Make sure both parties agree on the time. It's noted and agreed upon. Write it down. Put it in your journal, put it in your day runner, put it on your phone. I don't care where you do it. Get it written down so it's there. And you both agreed on it. This is good. be on time or a little early. Now, I have to tell you, if you tell me 9 o'clock and it comes 9 o'clock and I don't see you, if I'm waiting by the window, usually I am at one of the coffee shops, I don't see your car, I don't see you, it's 9 o'clock, now it's 9:05 and I haven't heard from you. You're already going down my list as someone's irresponsible. You haven't called me, text me, or anything else. It's going down the list. Hey, it's not a big deal. Step number 3. You come to a meeting, make sure you're prepared. Bring a pencil and paper, a pen, do something so you're prepared. If you come with nothing in your hands to a meeting, what is that? I mean, come on, you don't even bother to get prepared to come to a meeting? I don't get it. If something unavoidable comes up, which life happens, okay, call, reschedule, no texting, call. If you have time to text, you have time to call. If you've got my number to text me, you've got my number to call me. And you know what? If you call and tell me, hey, I'm stuck in traffic, I'm going to be 10 minutes late, I'm going to say, that's great. I can get another cup of coffee and a donut. I'm all happy. But if I'm sitting there waiting on you and I don't get anything from you, not going to be the best of things happen. If something better comes along and you made a commitment, reschedule the something that came along. The biggest things that breaks trust between customers and servers, or just husbands and wives, or any place else, is when something better comes along and you say, well, I can't make it because something better came along. Well, what am I, chopped liver? I was your second choice to begin with? What's the deal here? You see, this is common sense and common courtesy. And I think when you're not, anyhow. Now, if you're stuck in traffic, call and apologize. Then give an approximate time of when you're going to be there. I mean, come on. If you're new to the area and you're lost, that's fine. Call and tell me you're lost. I'll tell you how to get there. I'll come and get you. If you're stuck in traffic and there's a big delay coming my way and there's a coffee shop where you're at, call me. I'll come there. You see, this is so easy. It's so common sense. But it seems to be one of the hardest things that people are going through. You see, for me, the only reason I'm going to miss an appointment is a death in the family, so sick I can't maneuver, or I died. If I'm even so sick I can't maneuver, I guarantee you're going to get a phone call. My wife's going to call you. Somebody's going to contact you and say, hey, he's in the hospital. He's not there. You see, I don't understand the struggle of time. I know people who are late habitually to every meeting. I know people who are going to be late to their own funeral. I don't get it. I don't understand. But if you want to provide good customer service, if you want to build your business, if you want to build your company, and you want to take and keep good relationships within your family, you're going to stick by some of these guidelines because it's just that simple. It's called common courtesy. And common anymore is not too common. So let's just call it courtesy from one to the other. To show up when you say you're going to show up. Show up and be prepared to do what you say you're going to do. If it's a meeting, be prepared. Have your paperwork. Be ready to go. Take notes. Be involved. Be part of the discussion. If you're just going to go and sit there and be alone, don't go. Tell them you're not going to be there. That's better than not. Just not being late and disturbing everybody. When you're having a board meeting or something like that, or a business meeting, and somebody comes in 5 or 10 minutes late and disrupts everything that's been going on, man, I'm gonna tell you what. For me, that relationship is broken, and they're gonna have to work on it to get it back together. If something unavoidable comes up, because life does happen, big traffic, get in a car accident. You go out to get in your car and the battery's dead. You know, your baby throws up on you as you're getting ready to leave. The stuff happens, but for by golly, don't send me a text. Call me. Say, hey, Dick, I hate to tell you this, but this is where it's at. Now I'm gonna tell you something though. If you don't contact me, you don't show up, you'll get one more chance with me, but that'll be the end of it. Now I won't do business with you. Now maybe I'm just different, but I don't think so. Because the more people I interview and talk to, this thing of being punctual and on time is a whole lot more meaningful than what people want to admit. It goes right back to, if you think about it, it goes right back to this whole thing of being truth-filled and authentic. And if you think about that hard enough, being truth-filled and authentic, being on time, is just the same thing, isn't it? I have to tell you that when I thought about this truth-filled and being authentic piece and putting together with it being on time, I really started to look down and said, Dick, this is all about choices. This is all about choices. This is all about choices. Think about that. All about choices. That means every place I go, everything I do, I've got a choice to make. So as I make those choices, do I make a choice to be there on time? Did I make a choice there not to be on time? Now, even with life happening, that's a choice, my friends. You see, that choice that you're going to make is going to be the difference between good customer service, bad customer service, good client, bad client, all those parts and pieces, by golly. And that's going to all be part of there, isn't it? So when you're looking at that part, when you're being that situation, when you're thinking to yourself, what am I going to do with this? Ask yourself the question, am I being truth-filled and being authentic? Am I arriving on time? And by that, am I arriving on time? Am I authentic? Am I real? Am I being there? Am I all in? Am I there giving it 100%? You see how that all can change. I hope you see how that can change and how quickly it changes. So be on time, be truthful, be authentic, be all in, making sure that every time that you're working with someone, someplace, sometime, that you're always going to be that person that you want to be and that person that you want to be working with. On behalf of myself, Dick Powell, and the whole Leadership Corner team, we want to say thank you for being a part of today's program. Now, if you have any questions or comments on today's program, please don't hesitate. Send me an email, dick@leadershipwrangler.com, dick@leadershipwrangler.com. Go to our website and set your very own time and appointment with us at www.leadershipwrangler.com, www.leadershipwrangler.com. You just click on the little button and set your time and appointment. It's all good. If it's just a burning question you need to answer today, you feel like I said something or you want to say something, just call me. 727-422-1833. 727-422-1833. Now, our hope is that you've received a nugget of wisdom and guidance that will help you build your leadership ability from this program today. When your organization needs or wants to have someone come and speak to your group about leadership and accountability, make sure you tell them about the Leadership Wrangler and have them give us a call at 727-422-1833. 727-422-1833. Until next time, DW the Wrangler saying, ride hard, ride fast.